Hello.
Hola Guillermo, buenas noches, un placer, muchísimas felicidades, un orgullo como mexicano. ¿Qué te gustaría que significara este premio para todos los mexicanos que te vieron esta noche?
Es muy bonito premiar la imaginación mexicana, un punto de vista completamente único que llevamos al mundo en nuestro arte, en nuestra presencia y en lo que podemos aportar. Y es recordarle al mundo que hay mucho que contar y un contar muy mexicano.
Here, hola, Guillermo,
Yes.
how you doing? We talked before about like all your intentions with the movie and everything, but how important is for you that this movie is just like showing that you're in connection with things that are happening right now? I mean, that's pretty, it could be very unusual for a movie that is so involved in fantasy to deal. You mentioned that you didn't know, of course, Trump was going to be the president when you were writing it. And then you didn't know that these things with Harvey Weinstein, all the other guys will happen. But then
Yes.
there's women here, there's like workers that are oppressed. So there's a lot of issues that are all like very current.
They're there,
so,
yeah.
so do you feel that's like, can be a coincidence? It's probably something that, so you feel that you're part of the conversation right now? You're in contact with what is going on? How important is that for you?
Well, I think that the important thing about fables and fairy tales is that they were created to address things that you cannot address as easily and embody as beautifully as you do with parable, which is what we are. And I think the important thing tonight in many ways is that there was Jordan Peele and it was Shape of Water, Get Out and Shape of Water, standing in a legitimate, beautiful way next to drama, comedy, musical, action, war, everything, We have a place in the cinematic conversation that has led to the creation of beautiful, powerful images, but also thematic weight. And I think that this was very prescient for me, as it is for anybody that lives as the other in a society. It was very pressing for me to talk about it, and I talked about it through this fable. Thank you, gracias.
Yeah. Hello, over to your left. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Looking forward, do you feel like this will have any impact on the kind of stories you want to tell or the ways you want to tell them?
Well, I've been very stubborn for many, many years, so I only do the stories I want to tell. I only do them the way I want to tell them. Sometimes you find a bigger audience, sometimes you find a more devout audience, sometimes you find a deep connection with fewer people and blah, blah, blah. But, I've been doing this for 25 years, and with the exception of 1997 Mimic, which was a very difficult production that was compromised, other than that, the movies I've made are movies that I feel I need to make. And that is going to continue, even more strong now. What is beautiful is to do it now from an adult point of view, in a way, from a different point of view in my life or in career and storytelling. So this is a great blessing, and it's a pat in the back to continue.
Mr. Del Toro, to your right from the Greek Reporter, congratulations. And I would like to ask you, a few years ago, our president, being the president of the United States, would be considered fantasy. So I want to ask you a question, if you would be interested to make a movie with this character as your protagonist. Would you like to make a movie about Trump at any point of your life?
I think that you have to do movies about things that are close to you, that you understand, that you want to use as part of your storytelling kit or your own life. I mean, all my movies are strangely autobiographical, and they end up lining up with social concerns or not. I think that you cannot impose something like that as a model. It has to come from you. I think the movie is very pertinent to now, The Shape of Water. And it's not because I tried to make it so. It just happened to be. I am interested in different type of monsters.
Congratulations. This is a beautiful love story that you've won for, but you also tweeted very movingly the other day about the importance of telling stories so that young women will see that they don't always have to be part of a love story. How do you balance those two things in your work?
I think you approach each character with a different concern. When I write somebody like Mercedes in Pan's Labyrinth, I'm writing a very strong movement that is part of the resistance, the guerrilla, in post-war Spain, you know? And then you do it, and you don't superimpose a pattern of a love story on top of that. You are sincere with your character. You provide the best possible tools for the character to articulate. When you do somebody like Mako Mori on Pacific Rim, when you do somebody like Jessica Chastain, when you do, you know, I love writing these characters, and each of them tells you what they need. And if they need a love story, by God, you write them a great love story. But even then, even when you write a love story, you can do it consciously, trying to not tell the wrong story, because in most conceptions of Beauty and the Beast, it's almost like a Stockholm Syndrome moment in which Beauty is kidnapped by this figure and develops a relationship with, and then the Beast has to transform into the most boring prince to have the relationship, and Shape of Water upends both things, you know? The female character is the engine of change on every single thing that happens in the film, and the Beast remains the Beast, you know, because I don't think love is about transformation and changing the person, but understanding the person, you know? So even then, you don't have to do the usual love story.
Julia Pierpont from Xinhua News of China.
Yes.
Could you really understand and have an extraordinary ability to look into the shadow side, into the darker side
Yes.
of human nature and fantasy
Yes.
and terror, but you also are a really joyful and loving person.
Yes.
So how do you find that balance?
I'm Mexican, and you know, no one loves life more than we do, in a way, because we are so conscious about death. So the preciousness of life, standing side to side to the one place we're all going through. Let's say everybody in this planet boarded a train that was final destination death. So the train, we're gonna live. We're gonna have beauty and love and freedom. And I think that when you eliminate one of the two sides from the equation, it's a pamphlet. When you take in account the dark to tell the light, it's reality.
Guillermo, thank you so
Oh, she had one, but okay.
practical question.
Yes.
Okay, now there are so many movies, so many TV shows with imaginative characters, aliens, monsters.
Yes.
How do you sit and think, how do I do this differently? Because after a while, for me, so many aliens look the same in every movie. You know what I mean? How do you come up with the practical answer to creating something unique when so many people are doing it?
What I think you need to do is you do not drink from the source that has been done. You know, you have to. A visual vocabulary is the same as a spoken vocabulary. Mark Twain said the difference between the right word and the almost right word is the difference between lighting and the lighting bug, and it's the same with visual design. If your culture encompasses fine painting, sculpture, architecture, pop culture, yes, illustration, comics, you have a breadth of language in which you can articulate a design and not have it be something somebody already did. Thank you very much, and thank you. Bye-bye. Gracias.